Okay, I'm learning how to do this live thing. I've never done live before. Um, but my okay, I think okay. I don't want it like that. Okay, I'll deal with that. I could do that better. Okay, thank it. Okay, I can do that. Oh, Lord. Okay, try not to let y'all see all my business. Just jumping up and stuff. Oh, sometimes. Anyway, guys, you know what? All right, I don't want to be too uptight. I'm trying to make sure my blessings, all my blessings is covered, baby. I want nobody saying, "Oh, Shay up here trying to flash me today." Mm-mm. No, they ain't gonna talk about me. They're not gonna do it. But anyway, um, uh, yeah, okay. It's starting to get dark now, so there's not so much light streaming in. So trying to minimize all that light. It's just too much. Okay. Anyway, um, okay. Well, we was talking about. I probably went on a rant. Okay, but what I was trying to say, to make a long story short, every man is not the same, and these platforms are basically abusive. They're abusive, and they're I mean, it's really almost like a phobic. Okay, well, okay, we don't date big women, and it will make a man who actually like a man that's not secure in himself. It will make him feel like, man, I like big women, but I can't be clowned by my friends, and that's basically what that be. Because I mean, I remember my skinny friends used to get mad at me. I remember they used to have like, it is so funny because like when I would go out with some of my skinny friends, because I used to always go out, not a lot, but I went out with my skinny friends. I worked more than anything, but I would be like the bigger girl in the group. And sometimes it might be maybe another big girl, but never too many. Because to be honest, when you date, well not date, but when you be in a group with certain type of girls, they want all the girls to look a certain way. And I didn't realize that till I started interacting with them. I didn't realize that until I started going to, like, when I got older, and I started going to like parties when we was going to when we was in Miami, and I used to go to different little parties and stuff. How the guys would like basically in the clubs too, they would like kind of, you know filter through the women. They would say free before this time, but they were filtering. Like, they wouldn't let you in. I mean, they wouldn't let you in if you probably wasn't cute enough or young enough. And sometimes we would go to the club, and I mean, most of the time we went to the club, it was free anyway. But I didn't realize that the only reason why I was able to even hang with my friends at that time was because they thought I was pretty. And when you go out, they want more pretty girls. They want pretty girls, and they just want pretty girls around. They don't want nobody that's not cute with them, because they draw more men. That's why even our gay guy friends, they would want to hang with us, because we draw men. You know, and That's why they hang with pretty girls, you know. So not to say that, but see, they looked at me, well, I was kind of, now that I'm older, I see kind of how they was looking at me. They probably was looking at me like, oh well, you know, she's the fall, because I didn't smoke, I didn't drink. So of course I was the driver. I was the driver, and I was the one who made sure everybody got home safe. You know, I was the one looking around and stuff like that. But sometimes it was hard for me to do that because I would have a gentleman in my face asking me what's going on with me, you know, wanting to be with me. And I on average would pull a really tall guy. Like most of the time, the guys that I would pull, they'd be like at least 6 feet and higher. You know, like almost like a basketball physique. I remember that particular night, I actually met a international basketball player, and he was really interested in me. So I was like a 14, okay, and he was very interested in me. Reason why I didn't pursue anything with him because he had a lot of emotional baggage. He had a lot of emotional issues from growing up, and it was a lot in the relationship. And see, I was young at the time, and I just thought that I just kept thinking I don't want to deal with all this trauma because I was trying to come away from trauma. And when you deal black people, you know, that's why I don't like these social platforms so hard because you got the group of black people that's saying one thing is the reason why black men won't date you. And then you got another group of people saying, don't even worry about black men. You know, just don't even worry about connecting with them all together. Just go anywhere else. Okay. And I get what all of them are saying because each one of them have bits and pieces of truth, and then each one of them have bits and pieces of fallacy, more so fallacy. And you know, and that's an agenda being pushed to divide. Not it's this social experiment because this is a social experiment now. Don't think that this is just by incident. This is a social experiment that divide gender. It's a gender war. Okay, so we're gonna make these two sets of people hate each other. Okay, you know, we had prophets come and tell us, like Tupac Shakur, he said, you know, in the generation, you're going to have a generation of men that hate the ladies that make the babies. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. All right, Tupac fans, y'all know about, if you know about Tupac, you know, hit that like button, baby. but, but thank y'all so much, you know, but at the end of the day, and I want to thank whoever's in the chat. How you doing? At the end of the day, it's it's sad to see where we are right now, where we're just nitpicking and you know, you got these groups. They're being mean. They're being mean men, mean boys, because they're really not men. Because a man, he's not going to allow another man to tell him who he can date. I have so much respect for a man who boldly says what he wants, you know. And I'm just like, every man doesn't want it's not a, you know, because if it was like that, every man doesn't want just one type of woman. If it was like that, you wouldn't have all these different people, all these different heights, all these different weights, all these different colors and nationality, you know. So nationality, so it wasn't built that way. And I just feel like if you are overweight, you didn't get there overnight. Now, some of us have, because you have to understand, some of us do have medical issues. Okay. And because I had actually had a coworker who had a thyroid problem. I had never saw anybody physically. I used to hear about thyroids, but I had never saw anybody that actually, or in my circle that actually dealt with thyroids. And this lady, when I first met her, she was like a stick, look, just petite, tiny lady. And we worked together maybe about 7 to 8 months. And I remember they was telling us that she was out, she was in the hospital. You know, she wasn't doing well. She was in the hospital. She, you know, her thyroid was acting up. And then she came back to work maybe about 2 weeks later. And I want to say maybe 2 to 3 weeks later, somewhere in there. And when I tell you when she came back, she had to look. She looked like she gained almost 100 pounds. She was humongous. But I guess it may have been water and then the steroids she said it was given because her face was swole up, her body was swole up, and you could tell it was a lot on her because her frame was small. But then probably like a few months later, she was right back like this. And I might be a little exaggerating on the months because it's been a while. It's been, I can't remember the exact amount of time frame because it was like, this was like in, okay, I was working there. It had to be like 2007 or something like that. So maybe 2007. So this was a while ago. So I don't remember the exact time frame as a when, but I mean, some people have those issues, you know. So you saying that they shouldn't be able to find love, they shouldn't be able to have a marriage, they shouldn't be able to have children, they shouldn't be able to have a family, you know. And I have to say that this genre of a group of men that have been going on attacking these women like they have by this pimp that's using them. I mean, he a bad pimp. I can't lie. He bad at it. He bad, honey. He has got them wrapped around his little finger. Okay, and I'm not gonna say his name. I don't feel like doing all that. We already know what we dealing with, and and it's some issues. That looking at him, I can see some things about him, but I just don't even want to get into that because that's not even what I want to talk about. I just want to talk about on this live. I really just want to talk about self love, and I'm seeing some stuff going out the window. I'm doing my live stream. I'm looking out the window. It looked like something finna happen. I'm like, what's going on with these people? But anyway, I'm being distracted. Okay, but seriously, it's just like you should be able to feel good about yourself, because you got. I mean, what if women judge men about certain things like that, like where they say, well, listen, because I'm gonna be honest, it's been a while. Only time even when I'm in the gym, I will only see maybe about two, maybe about 20. I don't even want to say 20. I want to say maybe about 10 fit guys in there. The rest of them trying to get there. Like how I was. I am trying to get there. You know what I'm saying? I could go out on a regular day and I might see maybe 3 or 4 or 5 fit guys. It's not that many men to me that's fit like that. And their definition of fit is different because they feel like if they stomach flat, they fit. And that's not the case, baby. Just because you got a flat stomach don't mean you fit, honey. Don't mean that's the physique that women like. And we have to understand too, what they have to understand too, men, like they're saying our women have gotten larger. And there's reasons for that, and we're gonna talk about it. Like they say how women have gotten larger. I'm gonna be honest. Black men have gotten smaller. Black men used to be big guys. And there's still some big guys out there, and a lot of them might be in jail, and a lot of them is dead. Because I remember when I was growing up, my dad used to be like I remember it was a really outrageous, huge guy in the neighborhood. I mean, looked like he was at least 6'9", 6'10". He was tall. And not only was he tall, but he was big. I mean, he looked like a walking giant. He used to walk down the street and my dad used to say, and I ain't trying to offend nobody, but I'm just keeping it real to how my dad talk. My dad used to say, that nigga better go get him a job or go. He said that nigga better stay off these streets because it's only 2 places that a nigga that big can be. One is in it. Well, he said 3. Sorry, 3 places. He said one, he got to be really smart so he can make white men rich, or he got to be an athlete so he could make white men rich. Other than that, he gonna be what he said, he gonna be dead or in the chain gang. Either he go and make white people rich, do something to make white people successful. Number one, to stay alive, like somebody like Shaq. He was like a Shaq, walk around, and he might have been bigger than Shaq. Just a big. He was huge. I remember seeing him when we were walking. I'd be like, he big, because he was. You would stop. You would stop to look at him, and like he said, he had the big. That's why people adore Shaq. He a big black guy. They're not even intimidated by him. Big black guy. You know, he said either you making white people rich by your extreme height and weight and look, or you gonna be put in the chain gang like most of them are, or you gonna be dead. And unfortunately for him, later on, that was his case. He ended up being killed by police officers. And it's a little bit, but a lot of black men deaths like that. And this happened like it was like the 80s, because I was a little girl, so it was like 89 or 88 or something like that, and nobody did anything. I don't even think it was that. It probably was 86, 85, 85, 86, something like that, because I was like a little girl. I was like maybe 6 or maybe about 6 years old, 5 years old, something like that. So anyway, um and I might have the numbers wrong, 'cause like I said, it was a while ago, but they were big. The men in my family, like on my dad's side, my grandfather used to be like 6'5", but as he done got older, he 80 years old now. He my only living grandparent, but he shrunk a little bit, so now he looked like he maybe about 6'2", but he was like 6'4" in his 6'4", 6'5" in his prime, in his youth. My cousins, I got twin boy cousins. Both of them walk in the room, they gonna take over the whole room. I'm talking about they wide and big like linebackers, and tall and big. And every time people see them, they want to put them in the NFL. They too old to be in the NFL now. They want them to move something. They want them to lift something. They be looking like, oh man, like here goes somebody again, because they just look intimidating, and they look like they can handle some stuff. They look like they can lift stuff. They big. And I remember growing up, all the men around me. My dad was the shortest thing around me. All the other men that was in my family was tall, big, and black. They was humongous. They was at least 6'2" in height. Now, because of what Jim Crow and everything, and them locking them up and killing all these big men and everything like that, and leaving the smaller men out here, that's why now you see these men, they petite. They like maybe they average height can range between 5'5" to 5, maybe about 6 feet. Maybe about 6 feet. And sometimes then that's why women get excited when they over 6 feet. They like, okay, finally a man over 6 feet. But it wasn't hard to find a black man over 6 feet back in the day. It was not hard at all. They was, and to be honest, the framework of men have changed. Like their body structures have changed. I remember growing up as a little girl when young boys was like 14, 15, 16 years old. They was already cut up. I'm talking about they was cut up because they was mowing the lawns. They was working. They was building. They didn't even work out like that. They would lift. And back in the day, they might have had a little. Maybe they might have had a little bar that they lift up every now and then with their friends or something like that in the garage. But for the most part, they was doing yard work. They were painting on houses and doing extracurricular activity. And one thing they did a lot was play football and basketball. They was real active. They always had some kind of sport going on. They was playing football and basketball. And I'm going to have to say, when I went to high school, it was some fine young men. Both black, white, Latina, everything. It was some fine young men up in that high school, okay? Every day you was like, it was a hard time. It was hard. You be trying to do your work, and here come a new student. Oh, I miss feeling like that about me. Oh, he's so cute. He have a little crush and all that. Yeah, they was nice looking. You know what I'm saying? They was nice looking, and that's because they worked. They moved. I took my kids to a water park recently, and it was a bunch of teenage young men there, and maybe guys in their 20s. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I seen a lot of young men, and I'm talking about I ain't never seen young men in that age bracket holding themselves like this. You know why they was holding themselves like that? Because they had breasts. They had like little breasts, and they had bellies and side fat. You know, they wasn't. They didn't have. Their bodies was fat and soft. They curvy like women now. A lot of them have big guts and butts. I was like, these little boys is young. Why are they made up like that? And then if they wasn't like that, their waist was about this big. And I'm not lying. Their waist probably about maybe this big. And they be bigger than the girl that they be with. The girl still be, the girl might even be small. But they are smaller than the women. So it's ridiculous for you to sit here and try to, mandate women to be a certain way when a lot of y'all not even meeting the standard. A lot of y'all not even walking around, broad and masculine and stuff like that. I see a couple of them in the gym, you know, and shoot, and I'm a big woman, and I done had some of them slide over there to me, be like, hey, you looking good. I see you improving. You doing it, you know, and it's like you just. I'm sorry. It was a man out here. He is going crazy out there. I was trying to so I could see what's going on over there. Anyway, it's like it's crazy. He's big buff, um, just running around. It's just crazy. So I'm just to this point in my life, and I just can't. This is what I wanted to talk about. I just want to stay on the subject. So I'm gonna come back to what I was saying. You know, is image really that important when you're trying to find love? I mean, you got other nationalities in other countries where they have arranged marriages. Okay, so they don't even get a choice to say this is who I want to be with. You know, and they just have to be with who they choose for them to be with. And they say arranged marriages more times last longer than ones that we choose. You know, I think the problem with most men, though, and I don't even think it has anything to do with have a do. I don't really think, me personally, I don't think it has anything to do with if you're big or whatever size you are as a woman. But I do think you do have to have a certain degree of care for yourself. You do need to at least, if you are a big woman, you do need to at least dress appropriate to your size. Whatever that would be in your personality. Because I done met some big girls could wear certain clothes that I wouldn't even think about wearing. I'd be like, oh no, but they can pull it off. And then they pull it off well. You be like, all right, honey. You know, and so I think you need to look a certain way, carry yourself well, and we do. We have to take baths. I love to take a bath. I take a bath more than anybody. I used to get on my ex-husband's nerve. He used to be like, please stop taking all these baths. You're going to erase your natural oils. I'm like, what? My natural oils? And you're going to lose your natural oils. I just was in the habit of always taking a bath because I love to feel clean. So, take care of yourself. Do things and do things that you like. A lot of us are overweight for different reasons. A lot of it could be emotional distress. A lot of it could be, just not knowing how to cook properly for ourselves because a lot of us have a certain diet. We like to eat beans, greens, tomatoes, mac and cheese. You know how we eat. We eat Thanksgiving every weekend a day. What else you gonna make? What else you gonna put with it? So we have to change the way we eat as well. We're learning how to improve, on certain things. Because sometimes you probably had the will to lose weight or you had the will to get more fit and you didn't have the tools that you needed. You know, now you just want to be fit. You don't want to be. I remember when I went to the doctor's office, and I think I was well at 200. I was like 220, and I went to the doctor's office, and the doctor did all my screening and stuff, and I can't believe I was supposed to talk about my weight, tell my weight, but anyway, because women don't really tell their weight. But yeah, yeah, I just went over and told the truth. But anyway, um, yeah, the doctor, gave my exam and everything, and before he did the exam, he started going on about, what, like about high blood pressure, about cholesterol, about diabetes. He was just asking me all these questions, and in a sense, I think he was implying, that I may have these things because he was saying my BMI was higher than the standard what will be the standard for a woman of my height of 5'7". So he was like, yeah, I think you might have some of these things. So we're gonna do some tests. We're gonna run some tests. We're gonna see what's going on with you. And when they ran them tests, when I came back, they had me nervous because they was like, "Oh, the doctor said he want to see you and all that." And I'm like, oh, "Okay." So if they called me in, and when I came back, and he said, "Yeah," he said, "How you doing?" He said, "Well, yeah, we ran your tests. We ran your tests, and they came back clear for you don't have high blood pressure, you don't have high cholesterol, you don't have diabetes." He said, "Actually, from the numbers, your numbers are excellent. Your numbers are good. You're overall healthy." But because I didn't look like I didn't have ripples in my stomach, you know, a person would look at me and say, "Oh, she's not healthy." No, I was very healthy and probably was more healthy than somebody who had a rib cage full of abs. I just was plus size. I still ate healthy. I didn't eat stuff like I would see women buy me just eating candy like syrup, like they would some kind of syrup candy. They probably still sell it. They just was pouring it in there. I was like, oh my god, I could have never imagined eating stuff like that. You know, they just didn't eat well. I eat vegetables, fruits, drink water. I love water. I met people who don't even drink water. So you can't just look at a heavy set person and say they not healthy. Plus, I did a lot of jobs where I always was walking and moving and walking and moving and everything like that. So I stayed on my feet mostly all the time. So I never just had a job where I sat down. And to be honest, I made people aggravated when they got around me because they was like, "Please sit down," because I was so used to moving and being on the go. So you can't just necessarily say that's the reason why you can't get anybody because you're a big person and that you're overweight. Okay, because a lot of times that's just stereotypes. Sometimes smaller people they don't move as good, but a lot of these men they don't take care of themselves like they should. They bellies are sitting out, their beards are unkept, their hair's unkept. Some of them have heavy body odor, and they come to you and think that's okay. They're like, okay, accept me, because I'm a man, you know, and not want women to have a choice into who they with. And it's like, so because I wanted choice, because I want to choose for you to, it was a guy, and I don't to bring an example, I just bring him up. I used to go walking around the park. I used to walk around the park for exercise, and it's like the way the park was made. The walking trail went around for some reason. They had like a nice play area for the kids. I kind of now that I had kids, I seen why they did that because they had a nice play area for the kids, and then they had a full basketball court, and then they had like a little field area. So the way they had it was the walking track go around the basketball court. You have to pass the basketball players, which I used to hate passing that group of guys that's playing that basketball. But you had to walk around them, and then you had to walk through around the little trail with the little children, and then you walk around the place where they was playing soccer. So when they was doing that, this one guy, he comes up to me and he's like, he's trying to ask me questions. Trying to ask me questions about myself. Every time I would come to the trail, he would come and he'll try to ask questions about me to myself. And ask, just asking me questions like, I saw you around. He said, you so pretty, or he'll say, I like your smile. First he was telling me smile because I was out there walking, and that was how I probably was mean mugging because I was on a mission. I was trying to do my power walk and trying to mean with mug or whatever. So I guess he was like, let me tell her to smile. So I would smile or whatever and everything. So anyway, he started talking to me, trying to ask me out. And I didn't think nothing of it because he was playing basketball. He was playing basketball, so he was sweaty. He had on his sweatpants, he had on his sweat shorts and stuff. So I didn't think nothing of it because I'm like, okay, he's playing basketball. He's out here in the gym. I mean, out here, and he's getting sweaty. So, I'm not going to judge him. So he was just like, okay, when you gonna let me take you out? It got to the point where it was just, every time he saw me, and he was there almost every day I went to walk. So he was like, when I got ready to leave that one night, he just was like, let's go get something to eat. I'm hungry. You hungry? I said, well, I just did all this walking. I don't want to lose these calories. So he was like, you're gonna be all right. You'll burn them off. So I don't at the time. It was what's the name of that place? It was called Rallies. Okay. So he wanted me to read, it's like checkers. It's really checkers and Rallies, but it was at the time it was called Rallies. He wanted to meet me there. And I was like, oh man, I don't like to go nowhere not clean. So I told him, I said, listen, you're gonna have to give me like, I didn't want to tell him where I live. So I told him, you're gonna have to give me like 30 minutes. He was like, why you need so long? I just was like, I just need to go home. I said, before I go there, Anyway, I went, he was still there with the same clothes. And we talked, we stayed out there for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes, a little bit before it started turning dark. And he was okay. We had a decent conversation. I said, okay. So we did exchange numbers and we talked every now and then on and off. At the time, I was doing too much at the time because I was working, going to school. I just had a lot going on. And I just had a lot going on. So he oh yeah, I mean he was calling me and stuff. I'm sorry. He was calling me and stuff, and we were supposed to go out on a date, and he wanted to meet me this restaurant on South Beach or something like that. Which I didn't want to go to South Beach because it's just so much. It's so much to go on South Beach. It's just trying to find parking and it just was a lot. But at the same time, I'm like, when you out there on South Beach, everybody like to look good. So, I knew I had to dress up nice. And so I got myself prepared. I got ready and everything like that. And when I got there, I didn't see him at first because I was looking for him to be a certain way. I just was looking for him to look cleaned up. So I wasn't even looking at this guy that was like sitting at this table, and then when I walked away and I seen he was running behind me, I said, and he was like, hey, where you going? I'm like, oh, that's the guy. And he was just as raggedy. I tell you, he was sweaty. He didn't, and I'm just like, well, dang, we supposed to be on the date. And he can't look like he got his old wrung out t-shirt and holes all in it. And I done got dressed up and he's smelly. I'm like, okay, did he bathe? I just was like concerned. So, but I wasn't trying to be bougie or nothing like that, because I said, I don't know what the story is. I don't know. But I just sat down. We sat down and we ate and everything like that. But, I'm trying not to be disrespectful. But he smelled like onions the whole time. It was just a strong stench And I'm just to make a long story short, this guy on the several occasions that I kept running into him and meeting him, he was the same. He looked the same way. He was smelly. He didn't. It just he was wearing the same clothes. He was just smelly all the time. And he had a job and he was working and he had a car. He had, as far as I know, I didn't ever go to his place, but he had a place to stay. But he just didn't take care of himself. He's an athletic guy. He was very athletic, had a hairy chest. But he sweat heavy all the time because he perspires a lot. But he didn't really care, and I started realizing that was his wardrobe, and that's how he dressed. I don't know how he. I guess the job he had, they gave him a uniform, but everywhere I saw this man, that's how he looked. I mean, even when I didn't talk to him, I mean, because we just had a few talks, and I just was like, he didn't even. I just felt like if I dressed up and tried to present myself a certain way, I just felt like I wanted him to do the same. I felt like at the time I was just like, I just want somebody who cares, you know, because you just want somebody to care. And that ain't had nothing to do with being heavy set or nothing like that because he was a nice looking guy. He just didn't keep himself well. He just didn't take care of himself. And you could be a nice looking guy because he had a nice physique, better than some of these men on these forums telling women to lose. But he just didn't take care of himself. And I hope he's into a position in his life where he realized how special he is and that he could take care of himself. Because it's nothing like seeing a man. It's just nothing like seeing a man dressing nice and smelling good. I just love it. I just love it, especially on a winter's day. Especially when it's winter and you go and you meet them and you give them a little hug and they be like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" You just be so excited. They smell so good. They feel good. It just be a nice feeling. All these stories, and I'm on here talking to myself. This is my first live stream, so I don't have a lot of subscribers and stuff. But if you on here and you still watching, God bless you, baby. And if you on here, just subscribe. Just give me a subscribe, give me a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Um, yeah. I don't think weight has nothing to do with anything. And I just to be honest, I have a childhood. Well, it was actually my sister's child, but I knew her through childhood as well. I mean, she was a plus size. She's still a plus size woman. Beautiful woman. She plus size, and I'm probably gonna do I'm gonna probably do a taping on that so I could show you her dress. She just recently got married, and she's plus size. And when I tell you she was beautiful for her wedding, she was absolutely gorgeous. Okay, absolutely gorgeous. And her dress, her train, it was gorgeous. I just had to close the window, guys, because I don't know what them people doing out there, and they distracted me. They is distracting me. But so it's a little dark in here now. But um, yeah, she was absolutely gorgeous, and she's a plus size woman. Beautiful, had a beautiful wedding. Probably a better wedding than some of these slimmer women. And I'm not trying to bash slim women because, hey, baby, if you were born that way, because I know some women that's small like that, they want to gain weight. They want to put on some pounds, but they can't because they naturally, their body is made to be small. My daughter, she'll sit here and eat. So it's a little dark since I closed the window. Let me see if I can up our light because it's so dark. Let me see. I don't know. I think this is bright as I can get it. I don't want no different colors. Just want a white if I can get them. Oh, no disco. Okay. It's giving me disco. Okay, I don't want disco. But anyway, I guess that's the best I could do. But she had a gorgeous wedding. Okay. And she's a plus size woman. And that man loved her. And what I liked about her wedding, that's why I'm gonna text her and I'm gonna ask her, can I actually take pictures? I'm gonna ask her, would it be okay if I took a, cause they had a beautiful photo spread, if I showed the pictures on my stream, because even her bridesmaids was different in size. She had the real petite ones. She had the big ones. Like all of them was different shapes and sizes. It was a gorgeous wedding. And all of them looked so good. Look beautiful. I think a lot of times it's confidence, and and I just want to tell women, we go through a lot carrying these babies and taking care of our families and doing the things we need to do for our men. And a lot of times we just don't feel appreciated. Just keep your head up, okay? You know, I made it. I made a promise to myself for this year. After surviving COVID last year, and recovering, which I'm just starting to recover. After all that, oh, I didn't know how to use my stream, and somebody said hi. I didn't even know how to do it. Okay. Now how do I reply? Okay, I see the comment and they said hi and I didn't even know how to do it. Oh, it popped up. It popped up. Okay, it say live chat. Okay, live top chat. Some messages may not be visible. Okay, let me put all messages are visible. Okay, that's why I didn't see. I had some people in here talking, looking at me, saying hi, and I couldn't even say nothing. Oh man, there go my boo. That was my boo Harley. Hey, I go back. Yeah, Harley Lynn, baby. Girl, I wish I knew you was on here. I didn't even know you was on here. I'm doing all this talking. I'm gonna have to send you a message. Girl, I don't know how to use this. This is my first live. That one of my little, I'm gonna try to continue to do more lives. Um, and I'm gonna do more videos and everything. But I just want to have a discussion about these things. Um, because it's what's going on. It's what's going on, and these forums, they really make people. It's almost a poison. It's almost like they're trying to make people feel bad about themselves, or they're trying to hurt people and hurt their spirit. Because one thing about it, it's not really about your weight with men and with anybody, because some people are very, some people just want what they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. I done had men who told me, listen, you beautiful, you're a pretty lady, but you too big. You need to get there. And then some of them got rude. They wasn't even nice. Some of them was like, hey, get on this machine you got in your room. You need to, what you gonna do? I'm gonna lose all this weight. Like I need to lose. You got everything I would like. I'm in a wife, but you too fat. They would just come tell me. I don't date fat women. You too big. You got too much. You got too much legs and thighs and greens and how. They would just tell me I don't like it. And I had to respect that because everybody don't like that. But see, I like a little something. I don't mind. I don't mind my man having a little belly. Or I don't even mind him being a big guy. Only thing I do mind though, and that's just my own preference. I don't like when he has his breast bigger than mine. Now that's my thing. I can't do. I can't do them big, real big breasted men. Now he got a little breast, I could do that. But when his it's all the way to his stomach, I can't do that. I can't. You know what? I ain't even gonna say I can't. because I'm the type of person, I give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm attracted to so many different things. Because if he's an intelligent man and he funny, I don't care. He could be sitting there looking like he could be sitting there looking like that, and I still be interested because it's something about an intelligent man that I just adore. I love a man that's smart and witty. I love a man that can make me laugh. I don't like those intelligent ones just they just like they're to the point where they can't communicate. I don't do them. But just love yourself, ladies. You know, I've been talking. This is my, like I said, this is my first live, and there's not a lot of people on here, so I'm not gonna just sit here and make this a 9 hour live. You know what I would want, eventually, is to have a real successful live, and I believe I'm gonna have that by the years out. I plan to have that. I know I have that. I believe I have that because I really want a forum of whenever I get to this point, I would really love to have a forum of women, you know, to group up and to talk about things that get pushed under the rug unapologetically, you know, things that can build us up. If it's, I think a lot of them don't really want a wife. And another fact of the matter is, and I'm gonna get that later, is the why a lot of them don't want a wife. Um, I want to talk about that tomorrow. Because it's a reason why a lot of them they say they want a wife, but they really don't. Okay, so the question I had the question I had, one of my friends was telling me a man will not choose black women. It's a factor in it, but at the end of the day, I don't think that a man should judge your weight by the fact that it can be something you can change about yourself. If he truly loves you and love everything about you, if you was the perfect woman and it was just your weight, it shouldn't be an issue if he truly loved you. You know, I've seen men work out with their girlfriends that they loved. They but even they both got worked out together and lost weight and got their weight loss goals or weight gain goals or whatever. I've seen men love women through their weight loss. You know it that you know like even on the Tyler Perry movie with Jill Scott when she was big and her husband left her because she was big and ran off with the smaller woman, but then the other guy looked at her and was like, even though it was a movie, it still happens. And he looked at her and he was like, I'm gonna restore this woman because I see what she's carrying. I see she's a good woman. So um, it can happen. This done got too dark in here now. It can happen. So now I got my little setup all jacked up. All jacked up, baby. But it can happen. So, got the lights off. Um, I need a better setup with this. You know what? That's gonna be my homework too. Trying to set up my little live stream, guys. You know, it's different when you recording because you can pause, you can stop, you can add and skip and blend it later and everything like that. But live is totally different. Live, you got to be live. It ain't all that I got to move this over and all that. You have to be live on live. So yeah. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Um Another question that one of my friends gave me was, is image really that important when dating a black man?